Welcome to Gamesmith News. I'm William Gamesmith. Every week we break down the biggest stories in gaming, not just what happened, but why it matters. Whether it's games, technology, business, consumer rights, or the future of the industry, our goal is simple: give you the facts, explain the context, and ask the questions everyone else forgot to ask. This week, players forced Blizzard to rethink one of Diablo IV's biggest Season 14 changes. Valve is ending physical Steam gift cards after years of fighting scammers. And Valve is betting over $1,000 that you're going to want the new Steam machine. 3 stories. One big question. What does all this mean for gamers? Let's get into it. Our lead story proves something many gamers have wondered for years. Does feedback really matter? This week, Blizzard answered, and that answer is yes. If you've never played Diablo IV, here's a quick explanation. Diablo IV is an action role-playing game built around finding better and better loot. You fight monsters, clear dungeons, defeat bosses, and constantly search for more powerful gear to improve your character, to fight more monsters, clear more dungeons, defeat more bosses, and get more gear. And on, and on, and on. Some of the rarest items in the game are called unique items. These aren't items you buy with real money. They're earned through gameplay. Some players spend dozens, hundreds, and even thousands of hours building characters and chasing those incredible rare drops. Diablo IV's Season 14 is called the Season of Death Awakening. It launches June 30th. During Blizzard's public test realm, or PTR, the developers tested major redesign of these powerful items. Their goal was to make more items useful and reduce the number of must-have pieces of gear. One of the biggest proposed changes reduced the number of guaranteed stats on unique items, making more of the items' power random. Blizzard believed this would create more variety, but players disagreed, almost immediately. Reddit exploded, the official forums filled up with feedback, YouTube creators made videos, live streamers criticized the changes. The concern wasn't simply that Blizzard was changing numbers. Players felt Blizzard was reducing the value of rewards they had already spent hundreds of hours earning and building around. After reviewing feedback from the PTR, Blizzard announced it was changing course. Instead of moving forward with the most controversial version of the system, Blizzard restored a second guaranteed affix to the unique items before Season 14 launches. That's significant, not because Blizzard admitted they were wrong, but because they showed players that meaningful feedback during testing could still influence the final game. The larger redesign is still happening. Players will still see new mythic systems, stronger mythic versions of unique items, and new crafting mechanics. But one of the biggest community concerns was addressed before launch. So here's the question. When a live service game can change after you've already invested hundreds of hours, who really controls the experience? The developer or the players who keep the game alive? Our next story looks much smaller. It's about gift cards, but it raises one of the biggest consumer rights questions in gaming. Valve announced it's ending production of physical Steam gift cards sold through retail stores. Existing cards will continue to work. Retailers can continue selling the remaining inventory, and once they're out, they're out. Digital gift cards will not be going anywhere. Physical cards are expected to disappear by the end of 2026. Why did they do this? Scams. For years, scammers have convinced victims to buy Steam gift cards, reveal the redemption code, and hand over the money. Valve says it has spent years adding warnings, restrictions, and working with retailers to slow these scams down, but scammers kept scamming. Eventually, Valve decided removing the product entirely was the better solution. On paper, that sounds like a victory for consumer protection. But there's another side. Not everyone owns a credit card. Not everyone uses online banking. Parents often buy physical gift cards for birthdays and holidays. Some younger gamers rely entirely on cash purchases. Those customers lose an option they legitimately use. So this becomes a balancing act. Protect more people from scams, or preserve a payment option many honest customers will still rely on. Valve believes reducing fraud is worth the trade-off, but it's another reminder that improving security sometimes means reducing consumer choice. And that's your choice. And finally, Valve has brought back the Steam machine. More actually, its releases this week. Unlike the original attempt years ago, This version is designed as a compact gaming PC running Steam OS. It isn't trying to replace your gaming PC, it's trying to bring PC gaming into the living room. The starting price? $1,049 for the 512GB model. The larger 2TB version costs $1,349. Adding Valve's Steam controller pushes the highest package total to $1,428 before tax and tariffs, if that's still a thing. Reservations begin tomorrow, June 25th. Purchase invitations and shopping begin on June 29th. Valve says the launch supply is limited. Instead of first-come, first-serve ordering, customers will be selected through a randomized reservation system. Valve also says it isn't subsidizing the hardware the way traditional console manufacturers often do. They're pricing it much closer to what the hardware actually costs. The advantage is openness. Players can access their existing Steam libraries, run SteamOS, and play thousands of compatible PC games through Valve's Proton compatibility layer. The downside? Obviously that price. At over $1,000, many gamers are asking whether that freedom is worth paying nearly twice the cost of a traditional console. Although, the console's prices are catching up. It's an interesting gamble by Valve. They believe that there's a market for players who want the flexibility of a gaming PC in a console-like package. We'll find out if enough gamers agree. 3 stories, 3 very different decisions. Blizzard showed that player feedback can influence one of the biggest live service games in the world. Valve chose consumer protection over the convenience of physical gift cards, and they're betting that openness and flexibility are worth paying a premium for. Different stories, but all 3 ask the same question. How much influence do gamers really have over the products they spend their time and money on? Now I want to hear from you. Did Blizzard make the right decision? Is Valve right to eliminate physical Steam gift cards? How bad does that affect you? And would you spend more than $1,000 on a Steam machine? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode of Gamesmith News, consider subscribing and joining us next week. I'm William Gamesmith. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Gamesmith News.